Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Richard and this is Silver Lake Prints. And in this video, we're going to jump back into developing our spreadsheet for uploading our 8x10 art prints and creating listings on eBay. So this is going to work in an automated fashion, and I'm going to walk you through my process and how I do that. But before I do that, if you've been watching this series already, you know that we've covered how to break out of creative blocks that might be holding you back from developing your artwork at scale and create listings on eBay. We've also shown you how to separate things out, batching them and downloading them for proper organizing and deleting the ones that just were not viable as art print listings for eBay. We also assign SKU numbers to them, and in the process we upscaled our images into 8x10 size at 300 dpi so they would print out properly once they were sold. I also showed you how I warehouse my products using Amazon Web Services and keep them there until they sell, and then I print it out, and from there we went on to create some stunning mock-ups that we use in our listings. And I walked you through that process of how I also upload those onto Amazon Web Services after I've created 8 images for each file. So if you've been following along, you know that I created 118 images for print art that I'm going to be selling on eBay. So we used 8 mock-ups per image originally. So we created quite a lot of files, almost 1,000 files, and in order to do that, they need to be managed properly if it's going to work. So again, in this video, we're going to continue on with the process of how I get these onto the spreadsheet for uploading into eBay to create our listings. So without further ado, let's take a look at that. Okay, so just as kind of a reminder, these are the images that we will be selling as print art on eBay. Quite stunning. I've made 118 of these, as well as mock-ups for each one, showing them in frames. And in order to upload these listings into eBay, I'm developing this spreadsheet that I have created, and I'm going to make this available to you using the link in the description. This is from a previous upload that I did. I just kind of left the variable information on here for the example, but what really matters is this row here and the titles in each column, each header. It has to match the exact field on eBay in order for it to map over and upload your listing properly. So it's kind of self-explanatory as to what it is. And let me see if I can just bump this up a little bit so you might be able to see it a little better. Let's take it up to 200%. So again, like I said, this was from a previous listing that I created, a listing batch that I created. But under action here, you will see I have the word add. So it basically means that we are adding our listing, right? So we're creating listings. So in this example, there's 118 listings. So I believe that means we want to take this all the way down to 120, because if you count the 0, let me be sure and check that. We have 119, so we have 1 extra. So we'll delete that. Category ID, it's going to be the same, right? So the same category, the print art collectibles category. We went over that in another video. And our SKU, it's going to refer to the file name. And if you remember, we kind of coincided the file names with the SKUs so that when we sell one of these, we can easily see that we can cross-reference and match these without much difficulty. So let's look at the list. You'll see we have 118 files in here. These are all PNGs, but anyway, the point is that the SKU matches for each image, and we use that information here. So let's put the first SKU in here, and the first SKU is 260415 100, and the second 2604 104 260415 and so on, right, numerically. So in Excel, if you just grab the first three, we should be able to just kind of drag this down, and using the magic of Excel, it's going to automatically fill in all of these SKU numbers here for us. So now we have all 118 of our SKUs. And now we need to work on getting our titles together. When I'm creating titles for my eBay listings, I always include the SKU number in the title. So again, like I said, this was for another eBay listing that I was creating. I'm leaving this here as an example. However, this has been saved now for this niche that I'm creating for these Art Nouveau listings. But all of these need to be filled in all the way across. So the title and the description are always going to be variable information. The theme probably variable, subject type, variable, subject, variable, style, variable, store categories, another variable. So all of this variable information needs to be updated on this spreadsheet. And as you can imagine, all of that variable information has to be done for 118 different listings, which is quite a lot. So in order to do that, I use my control panel or dashboard that I created. And this is another Excel file. And this will show you, let me increase the size here so you can view this properly. This shows the store category, it shows the starting price, the quantity, item condition, all of this information that may or may not be variable, but the point is that this information carries over into other pages on the Excel spreadsheet. So here is where we create our titles. And these titles that go in here, and again, let me zoom in here so you can see that this is a title rotator, which will rotate the titles. And I typically just use 20 different titles and rotate them, as well as end the title with the SKU number. So if that doesn't make sense to you, it will in a moment. So let's go over to our good friend ChatGPT, and we kind of been working on this together for a while. As far as creating listings, I've already created many listings. So this ChatGPT knows what I'm working on. Usually every day we work on this. And what this message here says is, good morning. Today's niche for my eBay listings is going to be Art Nouveau design images that various women created in the style of Alphonse Mucha. Please review the attached images and create 20 rotatable titles I can use for my eBay listings for this niche. So if we go over to our images, and you'll see we just grab a few of these. Let me see if I can bring this over. Let's just grab the first, 5 images here and pull them up into the chat window. And these are going to upload into there. And what ChatGPT is going to do now is really get a look at the style that we're creating. It's going to read my message, and then it's going to help me to create 20 titles that I can use as rotating titles on my spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and send this over. So it's analyzing what I have. And again, through the magic of AI, it should create the titles. So good morning. Art Nouveau plus Nucha-inspired feminine art prints has timeless appeal, decorative elegance, and a broad buyer interest. These images carry all wall art energy and can attract buyers searching for vintage elegance, boho decor, romantic portrait art, and classical feminine beauty. So I always kind of take what ChatGPT says with a grain of salt, because it tends to agree with whatever it is that you're trying to do, or it tends to kind of coach you forward. It doesn't really say, it's never going to tell you, well, this isn't any good, you shouldn't work on this, you should go in another direction or whatever. So it's just kind of funny. But you will see that it created these 20 rotatable titles, right? And each one of these is optimized with the word print art 8x10. It also has wall art, also has the word Art Nouveau. So anyway, the point is that you copy these titles and you drop them in over here. So now we have our titles in our eBay listing spreadsheet creator. And let me drop this down a little bit more. So we're going to select these and copy them here. We're going to drop them in here. We're going to drop them in here and just keep pasting these all the way down. So now that we've created all of our 20 titles and we've pasted them into our eBay spreadsheet creating dashboard file, and again, this is a second file that I use to create the upload file that goes up into eBay, you'll notice that they are all filled out, and in column B it just has a rotation number there. But if you go over to the upload tab on this spreadsheet, and let me just bump this up again so I want to be sure you can see it. If you go over to the upload tab, you'll see what this has done. This is now using the titles with the SKU number. However, the issue here is that the SKU number is not correct. So we just go back to our SKU update, and we're just going to go all the way down and delete these. And if I pull this down, you'll see these all fill in automatically. So it's pretty powerful. It has the correct SKU number on the end of it now. And we're going to copy these, and we are going to do something here to add these to our eBay upload spreadsheet. The difference here is we're just not going to just paste these in here now. We are going to go to paste special, because what this does is it just brings in the text. So I feel like we've covered a lot so far today, and in the next video we're going to look at completing all of the rest of the variable information on our eBay upload spreadsheet and how we can utilize the Excel tool in our second spreadsheet to kind of manipulate the data and, again, copy and paste more information such as our links and other variable information into the spreadsheet that we will upload into eBay. So I hope you'll join me in the next video, and if you want to see more information about all of this stuff, you can join me in my SKOOL community, where I go through all of this in greater detail, a much more slower pace and much more spread out, on how you can develop your own 8x10 print art business on eBay using AI and automated. So I hope you join me in my next video where that stuff will all be covered. Bye-bye for now.